Welcome everyone to our inaugural episode of Cyber Pulse. I'm Letia James, the Brand Strategy Director at Heritage Digital. We're super excited to launch this ongoing series that's going to be dedicated to bringing you breaking news and developments in the world of cybersecurity. For our first installment, we're going to be joined by our very own Luke Peluso. He's the Director of System Support and Solutions. With the title that extensive, he's going to be able to break all of this down. First on the docket today is the recent update with the AT&T customers. If there's anyone else that you know who may be impacted with the AT&T breach, tell them to come here and hear everything from this expert. So Luke, the first thing we want to know about is just what happened. What's the implications for the millions that's been impacted and some of the critical issues?
Absolutely. The scary part is this is in the hundreds of millions. An estimated 110 million users were affected by this. Records are roughly from May 1st, 2022 to late October of 22. Some records as far as January of 2023.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is a scary one. It's also important to know about this. AT&T itself wasn't hacked. This was a third-party data provider that many Fortune 100 and 500 users also use. The only fortunate news is that there was no bill information released in this one.
Okay.
There's no credit cards, social security, or any personal identifying information. The scary part is that there is a lot of metadata related to everybody's communications. For those of you who are not familiar with metadata, it can contain information such as who you called, when you called, or who you texted and when you texted. The really concerning part of this, though, is it also can include location metadata. So from every one of these communications, there's also cell tower identities that could narrow down people's location during these times.
Luke, that is absolutely scary. I know most people think about my SSN or my bank, but like you said, with that metadata, is it okay still for people to have location services on, or should they not use that? Or I know some people send their location to their friend to let them know they arrived safely. Like, can you speak a little bit more about that?
Absolutely, and that's always important to review, and that's application-based location data. So within most cell phones now, you can go and customize what applications you want access to this. The unfortunate part is this due to the inherent nature of cell phones. Cell phone providers, whether it's Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, they always will have your location data, and that's just to offer the best service. So this is just a part of having a cell phone is essentially you are always being tracked by your provider.
Oh, wow. Some things we can minimize, but some things it's just a part of,
Absolutely.
like you said, the service. Got it.
And a
Got it.
lot of people are going to ask, why is it so scary for this location data was leaked? It's because this is not just limited to consumers. This is business, governments. If you're a journalist or dissident, this is going to narrow down your location. If you are a politician or a celebrity who has privacy concerns, your location data has now been exposed. Now, for government officials, you can think of how concerning that is if there's federal or high-level state level department positions whose location now is also exposed. If you are a Fortune 100 or 500 or person of high profile, you can now be essentially blackmailed. Say, hey, does your wife know you're having these communications from this location? Do your clients know? The implications are endless.
Oh, yes, yes. Got my head swirling. I'm thinking back to when the celebrities' photos were leaked. That
Yeah.
was because of a breach. Like you just said, this did not happen to AT&T, but to their third party. Can you delve a little deeper into that? Like, how did that breach occur? What does that just tell us about cybersecurity vulnerabilities?
Absolutely. Now, this breach, as reported, has occurred on a platform called Snowflake. And this is a data analysis platform where many third parties upload these vast sums of data they have in order to pull intelligence out of them. This particular data provider, there's been an ongoing persistent threat against them with the hacking group, their hacking group UNC 5537, who right now is being attributed to it. Now, there is a little bit of finger pointing, as always, going on. Snowflake is saying they have a secure platform, but the end users didn't properly enable multi-factor authentication. So they're actually blaming the customers, and there is suspected that other customers were affected in the same way.
We definitely don't want the pointing going on. But that multi-factor authentication, I will be the first to admit I hate that thing, even though we work in cybersecurity. But can you explain to everyone why that is so important? Just dive a little deeper there.
Absolutely. Now, as suspected, these credentials are compromised in another third-party leak, whether it be Expedient, Adobe, Yahoo. These leaks are constant. So this stresses the importance why you need to have good security password hygiene, not reuse passwords, and monitor the dark web for your credentials being exposed. So this goes back to the last conversation we had about why password managers are so important,
Right.
why dark web monitoring is so important, and why having that multi-factor authentication is so important.
Yeah, love it. As you were just going down the list, even though I've heard that list a million of times, but now it's like kind of sinking in. I'm hoping that it will sink in for other people, like, because this is true life. It is at your doorstep. Like you said, consumer or business, you are probably going to be impacted. It's AT&T. They've
Yeah,
been
100,
around since Southern Bell.
yeah, exactly. You don't realize just how much information your different providers have from you, whether it's Google search or your mobile ISP, or it could be anything, any of these services, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of these services are in some way interacting with your privacy and taking valuable information, whether it's application usage, location, all these different things, how you pay for things, what devices you log in from. This is all aggregated by these massive providers, often sold or analyzed so your advertisers can pinpoint who they want to advertise to as well.
Wow. Oh, yes. So I know, Luke, you are very busy. So I just want to wrap up with just a final few questions here. So, from a company's perspective, how can they better protect their customer data in this cloud platform that we now all use?
It's estimated recently, upwards of 85% of all breaches come in the cloud now. That is why it's so important to use products to monitor your cloud securely and not just rely on the cloud provider. So then you get third-party tools to layer top on that. On top of that, the most common cloud really that everybody uses is Office 365.
Hmm.
That is why we use third-party tools to monitor each of our customers' 365 platform for items such as foreign logins, brute force attacks. So as right now, if any of our customers try to log in from a foreign country, they are disabled as a security measure until we can verify their location.
That's good. That's real good. And then just also last here, what lessons can other organizations learn from this incident?
Well, a great thing is that multi-factor authentication is one of the most simplest and cost-effective ways to secure your environment. Now, what that means is that not just the CIO or the CTO or management is aware of this, but every end user is aware of the implications. And that's why programs and products like security awareness training are so crucial because the security is a top-down effort. It starts at the top and everybody has to participate in it.
All right. Before you go, we did get one more question. Are there any regulatory implications for AT&T or Snowflake following this breach?
Absolutely. A lot of them are going to be state regulations, FCC, and SEC potentially. See how AT&T is a publicly traded company. Now, there is also a concern is because apparently AT&T has known about this as far back as April and just
Mm.
now made this information available. This is on top of the very critical attack on AT&T that happened early in the year, where they're also being criticized for the slow release of information too. So AT&T is in the regulators' crosshairs right now. Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Well, I know, Luke, we might need to do a part two as this continues to unveil. And
Absolutely.
just want to thank everyone for joining us today for this first episode. Always, Luke, thank you for your expert insights on this critical issue. And we encourage all of the viewers to implement these strong security measures that Luke talked about, from LastPass to multi-factor. Again, you can come back and watch it to get everything that he unpacked for us. But if you do need immediate assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to us with a discovery call. Our discovery calls are always free, and we can, walk you through what we think may be a good recommendation, partner with you. As always, please just stay informed here about the latest cybersecurity threats as well as updates. And we'll see you tomorrow for our Securing Your World web series part 2. And again, thank you, Luke. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.